Okay, good morning, people. Here with Michael Crosby. Yes, I'm running for governor. We're going to talk about my policies, how I have engineered with computers the most advanced economic repairs in the history of the world. Now, we're going to move forward. We have to talk about things. We've got ballot seizures that have occurred basically in Riverside. Now, what is going on in Riverside? I will explain this on a larger scope understanding for you people, the public. Um, and I am in the process of trying to get additional file-ins on the situation. There are certain difficulties. I'll explain something of those. Now, what happened here is that there's this huge discrepancy between how many votes were cast versus how many votes were added. And it would seem that somehow the Secretary of State's office apparently added more votes than existed. So let's get this straight as to what's going on here. Part of what people are trying to understand. Now, there are a lot of different claims. The first thing, we have Banta, we have Weber stepping up, talking all kinds of BS. Okay, so we have Chad Bianco seeing something. He's moving forward. He's trying to deal with something that's manageable. Let's just simply try to understand how many votes were there. Let's just count the votes. Look at this is about the most simplistic level that you could look at something. And these people are balking. Now, let me explain more to this. Now, if you've been keeping up with the stuff that I've been putting out on any of my sites, you've probably realized that extreme violence has been focused at my various campaigns, my gubernatorial campaigns, my presidential campaigns, that I'm an archiver, that I also deal with national security. I deal with a vast, wide scope of archival capabilities. Science, we're talking stuff, we're talking archive, think way beyond the Rosenblums. Way beyond the Rosenblums, because people have attacked it. So what we have here, in addition to what hasn't quite melded in yet. Now, do people have any documents, such as Chad or Riverside County prosecutors? Yes. I have turned in complaints. I have turned in documents. I have made calls, 911 calls, all kinds of stuff. We're talking about extreme violence against an archive and against a campaign, okay? We have a major articles violation respective to what the regime in California has participated in. They are a regime now because they do not have the right to stand up, because they have no respect, they have no honor, they have not earned this. They no longer have a right to this because they deliberately attacked an archive. They deliberately attacked my campaigns throughout multiple elections. They've done this, okay? Julie Sue, Gavin Newsom orders everything shut down and then does not pay, okay? You cannot shut down and strand an entire fleet of vehicles that are slated to be participating in upcoming elections. Now, does this hit your brain? Does it hit your brain? Let me see. Let's try this out here, plain and simple, okay? The Marxist says, let's attack the other candidates, and we're not going to allow the other candidates to have their claims addressed. We will not help them. We will not put the fires out when we light the archive buildings on fire. We will not carry water to those buildings. We will completely ignore and be in mass dereliction of duty that archives are being damaged and attacked. I don't know if does this click in your head? Archives, is that about a late book? No, we are not talking about a late book. We're not talking about some type of disagreement about who's the origin of the material and who owns it. Respect to certain types of stuff. There's a lot of different arguments that people might be confused about in this country, but we need to get down to certain brass tacks of understanding. Now, my archives have been disabled from being involved in the last several elections. This means that my participation is what? It's at a huge minus. See? So what we have is intrusion. We have interference in the process of elections because I have not been allowed to participate at my fullest capabilities. Okay, straight out. Okay, I mean, now let's evaluate this from another way, people. Okay, somebody goes into your campaign headquarters and says, "We're going to destroy everything in the campaign. We're going to steal what we want. We're going to break computers. We're going to viciously destroy information that you've been working on, respective to, well, I don't know. Let me see this. What's this device? This is a computer. Oh, it's been working on campaigns. Boom, let's destroy that. Okay, hey, here's some more computers. Hey, this process of the election stuff. Hey, let's destroy that. Hey, let's go over here. The list goes on. Okay, oh, wow, look at this. Some classified research, a cutting edge. Hey, let's destroy that. Boom. Hey, look over here. This is a special AI program. Let's destroy that. Boom. Hey, look over here. We got something else here in the area. Hey, look, we got another computer. This is about making new assistive tooling to help voters out. Hey, boom, let's destroy that. Boom. Hey, let's keep going through here. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, look at here, man. A solution assistance system for voters and citizens to help repair the economic destiny of those citizens. Hey, let's just destroy that. Boom. Hey, so this is what's going on, people. This is what's going on. This is who some of these people are. This is what's going on. Okay, so what do they want to do? Sounds like they want to add more votes. They're going to add more votes, okay? But the truth is, we have a deduction in votes. We have a deduction in votes because they have attacked participants in the process of elections. The Articles of the United States state clearly, these parties are disqualified. What does this mean? Gavin, get out of my house. You cheated, you're busted, get out of my house. Because you people are incredibly afraid that I'm going to fire up another mobile archive and go after you. Go after you and show the voters the most incredibly powerful tooling with respect, that has respect for their life, that's going to help repair their life and address their issues. These people don't want to do this. These people are dictators. These people have nothing to do with the process of election. They are dictators. And the more that you look at my stuff, the more you're going to understand these people are serious criminals. They're not entitled to any form of respect. They are unworthy to even be a citizen inside the United States. They're not worthy to be able to be voters. They're not worthy to be able to run for office. And you have to understand this. You have to look at the material and understand its value. And the media has to understand the situation and be decent. Be decent. I mean, I don't want to hear a rich company come up to me and say, hey, yeah, can we jeopardize your security because you're being doxxed and you got people that are trying to be violent against you? Can we just, like grandstand on what's happening with your situation? I mean, so in other words, they want to make a lot of money and they don't want to pay for my time. They don't want to pay for my time, but they want a fabulous story. Who is it? What you see, we're looking at the ethics, people. This is the ethics of the situation. So you tell them, you say, look, I've got a security problem. These people have attacked things. Okay, we've caught people already. This is what we did. This is what happened, people. This is what happened. We caught people passing around the wrong material, making the wrong statements. Okay, spotting out certain vehicles, and my image, where they were putting it out as a hit for people to attack them, attack the vehicles, attack me. I got people shooting at me. Okay, so these people are playing diverted assassin tactics. This is something that was developed by the Royal German Empire when they created Marxism, communism, and socialism. And many people don't understand how this works. Now, see, me, on the other hand, you'll hear me talk about the spy cases and all this stuff and how it actually worked and how my great-great-great-grandfather on my grandmother's side came to the country. And on the other side of my family, it goes all the way back prior to the Constitution. And it is literally part of the founding core of the nation. It's crucially important to understand this, part of the founding core of the nation. This is something few people understand. But so what we have here when we talk about these master spy books, they're way different than what you might think. We're talking about a type of organized crime in Europe that's beyond anybody else even thinking about it. We're talking something that has so much disrespect that it's mind-boggling. We're talking really, really bad. How is this known? Because when somebody wants you in a club and you start reading through the deals, and all of a sudden it comes to the point, we want you to go around to the churches and make all the deals for the metal. We want all the metal in all of Europe. We want it all. We want you to buy and make a deal. Here's the way we work the money deal. If you could trade pharmaceuticals, whatever you need, we want you to buy the bells from the churches at all cost. Now, when you see something like that, you understand that people are setting up deliberately to bring darkness all over Europe, to bring mass murder on scales. He says, no, we have to leave. He gathered the family together. He told them, look, we have to leave now. We have to leave. I said, well, we have real estate. Well, we'll take our deeds with us. They didn't want to go. So he grabbed up his wife and his child, and he left. He came to the United States, and he shared with the United States the information that he had so that they can understand that they were going to need to prepare for war and what kind of evilness that they were facing. Very crucial to understand. So when you're fighting Marxists and communists, they are diabolically opposed to the Constitution of the United States. They're diabolically opposed to what? To archives. To archives. See, constitutionally, we have to protect archives. So when you have parties that attack archives, you see, you have Julie Sue, you have Weber, you have Newsom, you have Banta. You see, this is mass election rigging. It's massive. Violations of national security. It's treason on a level that's mind-boggling. These people are not worthy to count votes. These people are completely untrustworthy. These people have committed crimes against humanity on scales that are mind-boggling. Just look around. We have people dying in the streets all over the place. So when these people are trying to claim credibility, there is no credibility, because beyond the shadow of the doubt, people, again, Michael Crosby here, okay? I have been showing you the evidence for years and years concerning these people's action. And people in prosecutorial departments are saying, well, they're threatening my family, they're threatening this and that, I can't do this. Oh, they've invented this edict that says that the Constitution of the United States no longer exists and has no authority, and that I can't do these things. And here you have Chad, you have people like me that have stood up and says this can't happen. And you got somebody like Chad over here. He's going to stand up and say, yeah, hey, look, I'm running too. And you know what, man? Hey, you know what? I'm already an elected guy. And you know what? I think it's part of my job to look at something here. There's clearly reason to believe. And it's happening in my territory. So it's clearly reason to believe for me to be able to look at this because I'm the sheriff. Now, I hope people are grasping what's going on here, that we have someone who's stepping up yet again saying, hey, now I've been saying it exactly in Riverside, okay, for years. When you go look at my material, I'm one of the people who's been complaining for years. Okay, yeah, I got a whole bunch of letters, from different people I've been working with concerning communications with the state of California. Yeah, you talk to these people on the phone, they admit that they're liable. That they've done something that's horrible, but they don't want to pay a dime. They don't want to pay a dime. I didn't owe a dime. And these people freeze up and strand a fleet. They order everything shut down. But then they start grabbing money with both fists, all these different ways, including Gavin. But they blacklist people like me from getting compensation. See, so there's all these levels that I was entitled to compensation. Now, I want you to keep in mind, this ordered shutdown comes with a bite. See, I talked to an attorney that says, look, this is what they've done. You have to comply with it, or they're going to fine you hundreds of thousands of dollars and then put a black mark on your nonprofit. They'll put a black mark on your multi-state nonprofit existence. Okay, this would be a health and safety violation. We're seeing health and safety violations right now. You have churches in California that are dealing with ridiculous harassment concerning COVID, which is interesting. They're saying that they weren't trying to figure out a way to space people out and giving zero concern whatsoever, and that somehow this all equated out to them basically murdering people or something. So they're saying it's a health and safety code. So they're attacking literally every church. They're saying churches cannot have congregations, that you cannot have multiple participants in a church. Well, how are you going to have a church? They're shutting down all the ability for people to get tithes or to get any form of contributions. So they're attacking the churches. They're attacking the churches. They're not coming in with reasonable things and saying, well, this room, the occupancy because of AIDS. What we'd like you to do is, can you spread this out a little bit? You see, you had churches, they said, look, we can go outside. We can set up tables. They did this. They did all these different things that made all kinds of sense, okay? But here's the thing, so we have all these people under attack. Archives are under attack. Churches also have forms of archives. Let me explain this to you. These people are attacking and destroying archives. You can't attack archives. It disqualifies credibility. It's a mandatory constitutional item that has to be protected. So what these people do, like Julie Sue, she takes the names of people, okay, that are basically, entitled to compensation, okay? Congress ordered compensation. What does she do? She goes to Washington. She turns over the list of the names and says, this is how many people we have, yada, yada, yada. Give us the money. She takes the money. She comes back. She sets up multiple types of accounts. She leaves zero money in certain accounts and says, this account is for the normal citizens. It has zero money in it. This account over here is set up so we can give money to people that are not citizens. So she blacklists people in different ways. She blacklists the phone, all kinds of different stuff. There's all these different ways they did blacklisting. Okay? So she stole the money. She's attacking candidates, campaigns, stealing the money. She's attacking archives, stealing the money. When you try to communicate with her, she will not communicate with any business people. No business leaders, which means she flatly refused to communicate with me. As a candidate, continuity of elections, she is absolutely not going to do it, which means she is blatantly failing continuity of government. Okay? She's failing continuity of government. She's not communicating with people who need to be communicated with. This is a clear understanding of what's going on here. Okay? You have to understand this. So these people are so deep into felony territory, it's mind-boggling. So then all of a sudden I have all this stuff that looks like Antifa attacks. And we've researched it. There's a couple signatures that indicate that the Russians are involved. Okay? This is not a game. I have to protect certain types of evidence because they're going to have to end up being used in court. Now, I filed for proper panel court rights through inside into the United States archives. Now, the way you do this proper as a candidate, because a candidate needs only verbally proclaim. See, because my campaign has rebellion, insurrection, and invasion, all negatively attacking my campaign. All factors, okay? It's very, very important. This is where the evidence goes, okay? So it's happening both at a state and a federal level, okay? It's also happening at a county level. So it's very important to understand what's going on. So you file through the Secretary of the United States Senate, okay? So when I file my documents, they're filed through the United States Senate. I hope this is clicking in people's head to understand what I'm doing and what I've done. I give notices that there's investigations. I continue informing the United States Senate involving the activities. So these items have bite. Now, constitutionally, because of the situation, rebellion, insurrection, and invasion as a candidate coming under, I have the right to declare panels. I have the right to make a court. I have the right to arrest people. I have a right to sequester people. You have to understand, This is ancient common law, okay? And it is validated by the Constitution. And during the War of 1812, Congress validates the powers again and talks about them in minutes, in congressional minutes. It's very important, very important to understand how these different areas where the discussions were them discussing what was the interpretation that for sure had to be there. So here we have these different areas of the Constitution and the actions of Congress explaining certain types of authority and what has to be done in order to protect national security. So now the situation is I'm in the process of doing the last stages of certain types of research, and in the process I'm trying to set up panels, okay? I'm trying to set up some boards, okay? I'm trying to prepare the right documents for members of the United States Senate to come in and address the situation, because the situation now requires some of the attention of the United States Senate. This is what's important about this situation, people. It's very important because we have people that can no longer be allowed to do what they're doing. They cannot be allowed to have anything to do with the process of elections. They have been caught red-handed cheating. They are disqualified. Okay, these people are not allowed to run for office. They're not allowed to hold office. They're not allowed to vote anymore. Okay? Newsom needs to get out of my house immediately. You see, the Constitution and articles, when you get to certain points, I am not allowed to withdraw as a candidate because I have caught these people committing treason. The articles state these parties are disqualified. They need to immediately surrender the buildings over to me. Gavin needs to immediately evacuate and surrender. He needs to turn over the governor's mansion to me effective immediately. He needs to surrender. He's busted red-handed. He needs to surrender. Okay? I'm gathering more and more forces, and this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Now, as to the election, here's what's going to happen, people. You, the people, you, the legitimate vested citizens, you have the right to understand the crimes that these people have done. Why? Because if you don't, it's going to make it hard for you to vote and understand what's going on, because you cannot allow criminals to continue to control the narrative. They're not allowed to control the narrative anymore because they're criminals. They're disqualified. Okay, so we have other people who've been blacklisting the narrative coming out fairly. We have not had members of the media live up to their responsibility as United States citizens, respective to their job to make sure that unbiased information is reaching the voters. So there's a participant problem here. There are obligations in ethics at the most serious levels. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit. I just got a hold of my coffee. I haven't even drank my coffee yet. So I need to take a break and drink my coffee. Okay, I wanted to come back and do some more. Unfortunately, I have some calls that I have to deal with people, but I'm putting this out to give you people an idea that we have people that they're not entitled upstate. Okay, Weber, Banta, they are not entitled to have anything to do with the process of elections. They have repeatedly violated and are direct participants aiding and abetting parties committing treason against a candidate, against a campaign, multiple times, multiple campaigns, multiple entities, multiple archives, national security violated. These people are done. They have no respect, and they are blatantly in dereliction of duty on a level that is far, far beyond the Rosenblum's violations. There's the ones who gave the bomb away that were executed, to let you know. Okay, I have to go for the moment. I have other items. I got calls I have to catch up on.